and I have chosen a girl for marriage with the agreement of both our families. She is working and I am not well established in terms of a stable job or business yet. So our families have agreed to marry us off once I have established myself financially. However, with the passage of time and delay in marriage, I am facing problem in terms of a fear of falling into temptation and desire along with depression, as I have met the girl quite a number of times and love her very much. We want to do our nikah as soon as possible so that we become halal for each other. But our families are not agreeing to get a nikah done at present. Can we do our nikah and tell our families later so that at least we can save ourselves from falling into sin? Please provide a halal solution. Jazakallahu khair. What the brother asked, that he's 27 years old and he's chosen a girl, and both the families have agreed that they should get married, but because the boy is not financially stable, he doesn't have a stable job or a stable business, they said the marriage can be done after he has a stable job. And quite some time has passed and they meet very often and they talk to each other and he started loving her. So he's saying that he fears that he may fall into temptation. So can they get married quietly without telling their families, so that if they do something wrong, it would be permissible? For a marriage to solemnize, the girl should have a wali. And the wali of the girl is normally the father of the girl. Or if the father is not there, then maybe an uncle or a brother. But a wali is required for a marriage to solemnize from the girl's side. So you marrying secretly without telling the family members is not correct. It will not be accepted. What solution I can give you is that very well you can discuss with the family members, since they have agreed that you are going to get married, but because you're not financially stable, so you may not be able to stay together and run an independent family. That may be the reason. What you can suggest them, that why don't you do nikah and do the bidai later? So there is an option in Islam that you can do nikah, the boy and the girl gets married, they're officially husband and wife, but they may not live together. They may do that later on, maybe after a few months or a few years. Now that you're engaged, but you're not married, so she is not your wife. So you cannot meet very often and talk and chit chat alone. It's not allowed in Islam. If you're engaged, yes, you can talk, but there should be a mahram along. Maybe the father of the girl or the brother of the girl, or maybe your mother along. If there is a third person and who's a mahram, then when required, you can talk if you are engaged, but not very often. When there's a requirement, yes. If the requirement demands, if you are engaged and you may get married after a few weeks or a few months, if you have to talk, you can talk, but there should be a mahram. You cannot be alone, because yet you are not husband and wife, because the Prophet clearly said that if two na-mahrams are together, the third person is the devil, is the Satan. So if you are engaged, yes, you can talk when required with a mahram. But from your question, I can realize that you meet very often, you may be chit-chatting, and you are falling in love with her. Falling in love with her is not a problem, but meeting her often and talking, this is also not permitted. So the best solution that I can give is you can consult with your parents and you can agree with them that since you're not financially stable, you cannot run a family independently, but because you talk very often and it's not permitted in Islam, why don't you do the nikah? Now once you do the nikah, it's not compulsory that you start staying together immediately. You can delay for a few weeks or for a few years. This is permissible. But once you do nikah, she is officially your wife, and then you can talk with her. There need not be a mahram when you're speaking together or when you're meeting. It is secured. So I'm sure if you convince your family members and the family members of the girl, surely they would not mind in this solution that you do nikah, you're officially husband and wife, but you do the bidai, the departure, the girl departing and coming and staying with you, that can be delayed by a few weeks or a few months or a few years depending upon the requirement. That is the best halal solution. So even the families are happy. You may not be financially secured, yet when you meet, you're not doing anything haram, you can be in seclusion, you can talk to each other because you're husband and wife, you may not be living together. So this is the best halal solution that I can offer. Hope that answers the question.